I'm told the third time's the charm, so we're going to try this one more time. What I'm going to be doing today is creating a grid, a modular grid for your week 12 assignment that is due next week. And I'm expecting probably some questions tomorrow, but that's quite all right. But anyway, let's get started. There are a couple of things that I want to point out. I am in the Essentials toolbox. The other thing is that I'm going to go ahead and I'm creating a modular grid, and that's something that you will find spoken about in our text. So I'm going to create a new document, create, and one page, starting with one page. I could do 5 pages because eventually that's what we're going to end up doing, but I'm not going to do that. I do want facing pages because the intent of this assignment is that you're going to be working and creating a spread, and so you're going to be working across 2 pages. Now, I said in the directions that we need to have the pages 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches. Sometimes it squawks if you don't have a space in there. I'm going to make my margins 1/4 of an inch, and because of this chain, once I click into the next box, everything's going to change. Now, when you came here, you probably found your window looking like this. What I want to do is I'm going to say more options, and what I want to do is I'm going to put in space for my bleed, so I don't necessarily have to be so concerned about leaving white around the page if I miscut something. And again, you see the chain here, and that'll make sure that all settings are the same. Click, and you'll notice that that indeed is the case. And now I'm going to say OK. Here's my page. The red line is my bleed line, the black line is my document line, the magenta line is my margin line. Now, I'm going to click on pages, and what you'll notice is right now, if we look here or here, it is set for page 1. This is my master page, and what I want to do is I want to create my grid on my master page. So I'm going to come up here and double click. Now I've done that. I've selected this page over here, and the thing is that I'm going to get out into my arrow so I can move this around a little bit. What you'll see is I need to hold down my space key, click, and I'm pulling that off to the center. You'll notice that if I go Command 0, it's not going to fit both pages, it's only going to fit one page. So what I'm going to have to do to get this thing so you guys can see it, I'm holding down my Command key and I'm clicking my minus key. Again to the space bar, click. Now I'm able to see both of my pages, and I'm doing this on my master pages, so as I'm pulling down from here to here additional pages, everything's going to have my grid attached. Okay, I'm going to put this back here for a second or two. Oh, also I'm going to hold down the Shift key because I want to make sure that this grid is going to both master pages. I'm going to click this double-headed arrow, so it's now back in my palette. Now, I'm going to go to Layout, Create Guides. Now I'm going to make a modular grid. I've already decided that I want to make a 4 columns and 4 rows. The other thing is I want you guys to get familiar or comfortable working with gutters. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in a very small gutter. And you can actually see, because it's on preview, I can actually see what I'm creating. This is going to make, if I wanted to, I could do margins. And now what you'll see is that everything is tied to my margin But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it to my page. Because like I said, I have a bleed mark. And so what I want to do is if I do bleed off the edge of the page, I want to be able to cut everything to the edge of my page. If I stop at my margin, I'm going to have this grid here a little weird. Okay, so it's going to be a little narrower than the rest. Okay, so now I'm good with that. I'm going to say okay. Now I'm going to go back to my pages. Now what I want to do is I want to double click on page 1. You'll notice that page 1 is now highlighted. And I want to create some pages. I want to create 4 more pages because I asked you to create 2 spreads. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's one spread that I asked you to maintain a strict grid. And this is the spread that I've asked you to be a little looser. You can break the grid if you want. And just see, same material, same grid, but I want to have you have the experience of seeing what the difference might be and how everything will relate to one another. The other thing on the grids that you're breaking, you might want to use transparency or layering. I suspect you might want to use layering here as well. But this is your design. I want you to have some fun with it. Okay, now, so basically what we have here is I'm going to create a couple of modules. And I can come up here, and here's one module. I'm going to change color. Click on the one color, and I'm making that green. Okay, and then maybe come down here, and I can make another one here. You'll notice that I'm okay, and double click. This time maybe do a little bit yellow. Okay, I can come down here. Here's another one. And again, the way I'm doing these grids is I'm pulling all the way out to the edge of my page. And let's make that yellow. Whoopsie. There you go. That one yellow. And make sure that I'm hitting the grid properly. And again, it's very small, and I know it's hard to see. Got to pull this out to the edge of the page. Okay, now it's square. Okay, now why did I use the bleeds? Because when I asked you to create bleeds, what I said is that we can use those bleeds to trim down the page and have the page, avoid any slivers of white. I'm pulling everything out to my bleed line. Okay, so here we go. We got everything going. It looks, what can you say? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to print. Print. I'm going to choose my printer. Color. I'm going to go to my bleeds and I want crop marks. The other thing that I want to do is under setup, I want to come down here, page position. I want it centered. So when I cut, I'm going to be able to see these 4 crop marks. Now you're going to be, like I said, you're going to end up cutting out 4 pages. And these are going to be butted next to one another for critique. So you may want to use white tape at the back, so you're actually creating a spread. Okay, once you have all that set up, again, general, we want to make sure we're printing all pages. So you're going to have one blank page, right? And we're going to go to setup, and I want to just come down here, and I want it to be centered, and it's on US letter. I don't have to do this on tabloid. Marks and bleeds, I'm coming here and I'm going to use crop marks. And you'll notice that this looks exactly how it's going to come out of the printer. I'm going to hit print. Boom, it's done. I think that should do it. I'm pretty certain I'm pretty certain you'll be okay with this particular tutorial. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.